42, welcome back. Talking all about finances now, specifically annuities. We're breaking it all down. What are they, and are they good investments? Here to tell us more, we are joined live by David Nastry, president of Connecticut Investment Advisors, a 20-year financial advisor, licensed attorney, and Army combat veteran. David, we are so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Natasha.
So annuities, it's something that's fairly common. You hear it a lot, but what exactly are they?
So at the most basic level, they're investment contracts with insurance companies. And the difference between an annuity as an investment contract and a typical investment would be that the insurance company that's selling the annuity is allowed to provide certain guarantees to them.
Okay, now you say that they're not one size fits all. They're not really a great option for everyone. They can be, but you really have to assess case by case with these.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I think it's probably the most overused investment asset out there. One of the reasons is that they generally pay very, very high commissions, so there's a strong incentive for the advisors to use them. There's nothing wrong with them, given the right set of circumstances. They have some very strong estate planning benefits, but typically people who are putting their IRAs in them, things like that, I don't think it's an appropriate use.
Okay, and you have a really interesting personal story. A client of yours actually came to you with a number of annuities, and you kind of helped him untangle that. You didn't think he really needed all of those.
He didn't. This is a 30-year relationship with an advisor that he's been working with, and he's not a client, he's a friend. And he said, would you look at my portfolio? And over the course of the last 30 years, he probably has about $4 million in the same kind of annuity. And one of the questions I asked him is, these all have a term, 5, 6, 7 years. What happens when these end? They're sold as long-term investments. And he said, well, usually he tells me there's a better one. And I said, well, every time he does that, he's getting a commission that he just did a $700,000 annuity a couple of months ago. $42,000 went to the advisor.
Wow.
So the incentive on the advisor side is ridiculous. It's just, and so that is what really drives them to be so overused.
Okay, and just for knowing, in what instances would it be good to use an annuity?
So if you have a person who cannot tolerate any kind of risk, the money's in a bank, and it's never going to leave that bank. An annuity, a certain type of annuity, might give them a better return over time. There are some uses of annuities when it comes to Title 19 planning. So it allows a person to retain some of their assets if they put it into an annuity. But that is very, very, very case specific, and I've probably run into it twice in my career.
Wow. Okay, so this is really important to know, and that's a lot of what you do at your firm. Tell us a bit about you, where you're located, how you help people navigate situations like this.
So Connecticut Investment Advisors is our firm. I'm the president, and we're located in Cheshire. And typically what we do, we get a lot of people calling us and saying, can you look at our portfolio? And that is step one. We take what they've got, we put it through our software, we get a risk score on it. That's a huge part, so people understand exactly what it is they own. And then we compare that to investments that we might suggest with a comparable risk score. And I would say that not 100% of the time they can do better, but it's probably 99% of the time they can do better. And it comes down to a mathematical equation, right? Which risk score do you want and which return do you want?
Sure. So really important, beneficial work for your clients. Let's talk about, quickly, we do have to go to break, but you have an event coming up next week that I want people to know about.
Yes. And while primarily I'm a financial advisor, I'm also an attorney. So I'm doing an estate planning seminar next week in Cheshire at the Cheshire Senior Center on Thursday night and Saturday morning. We're doing 2 sessions.
Wonderful. And people can find out more at your website, which we will have up on screen. There's the phone number as well. And if you would like to learn more, we'll also link everything for you over on WTNH.com. David, thanks so much.